Hello, this is Nest Tilson here. In this video I'd like to show you how to set up a cabinet, a base cabinet like this, that has in fact two opening doors and a dummy top drawer with a rail here, an intermediary rail that supports the dummy drawer. If I close that, and let's have a look at it in. We can see that we have here a front frame with a rail on it and the doors with a dummy drawer, sorry. So how do I set this up? Right, then I can tell you quickly that the front frame is set up in the same way that I would set up the edging on a worktop that has solid wood edging. There's another video to show you how to set that up. So how do we set up this this particular drawer here, which is a dummy drawer, and its intermediary rail? Well, let's go into a cabinet which doesn't have that for the time being. Here we have a cabinet which has only got it's just got the front frame and who has the no intermediary drawers. So let's set up the intermediary rail here. How do we do this? I'm just going to switch off these ones here. Okay, to set up the intermediary rail, how do I do this? I will go into the cabinet here and I will set up a shelf. And this shelf, I'll put a distance from the top equal to the position of the railing that I want to set up. So for instance, if I want 100mm from the top, let's put a bit more, say 120mm from the top, I will get a shelf in here. And what do I want with the shelf? What I want with the shelf is I want to have a edging on this shelf which corresponds to the thickness of my front frame. So this front frame is made of a 40 by 40 section, and let's set it up as if I could just copy in fact a structure from the top shelf or from the top or the bottom onto the shelf, but I'm going to show you how to set it up here. The same method we use for setting up any frame which is just edging on our cabinet. So let's say we go into the fixed shelf and let's edit and add an inner tooling. We add an inner tooling here. We take a rectangular inner tooling. The height will be the width or the thickness of our front framing, or the thickness in fact of our rail, and the width will be that simple width of our cabinet. And this particular inner tooling, we will position it along the front of the cabinet so that it will be actually, along the edge like this, and the depth will be the depth of my board, my sheet material. I click OK, and now in fact the shelf has been cut away, and we have what we call an inner tooling here. And this inner tooling is now become an element in which we can insert another material. So by default it's nil material, but if I say I don't want it nil material, I can create a material. I can use the material that I've used for my other edging, which is worktop edging 40 by 40. And we can see now that in fact we have, if I look into 3D, we have a front rail going across, but we still have material behind it, which is the shelf material. Well, the shelf material, I don't really want it, so what do? I'll just go into here, click the shelf material, and I'll say that the shelf material is in fact a nil panel. So there's get it right, a nil panel, come on. So that in fact there is no material there, and it's just virtual material. And we have here now our front frame with our our intermediate railing. Onto this space here now, I can add a drawer, or I'll add a drawer front. Let's just have one drawer front without any assembly, because we don't want any drawer on it. It's just a dummy front. And we can say that from the top we need a slack of, if we've got 40, let's make 30mm from the edge of each side, and from the shelf itself let's just add we're going to add 10mm. Okay, and now let's add doors here. Add a door, let's add a double door, and the double doors we're going to do the same. We're going to say from the bottom, because we're overlapping, we'll give it a 30mm recess, set back 30mm from the right side and the left side, and on the fixed shelf let's give it 10mm. Has it all been adjusted? And what does this give us now? And we have here we have now our doors plus our dummy front drawer. Right, we can also set up now a plinth area underneath here. Let's set up a plinth, add a plinth, a front plinth at 0 will give me a board which is just flush to the front. And this board, we can extend it to the limits of the cabinet simply by creating on the left side pushing it past it by using a groove assembly going beyond by 40mm, and on the right side too we create a groove assembly pushing it on by 40mm, and here we have now the cabinet. Front frame, dummy drawer, and two doors. We can of course continue to make this cabinet look a bit more neat simply by adding, we can add for instance assembly details. If we add to this this first drawer, we can add that. Let's add an assembly detail. Let's add an assembly detail that comes from the library. We have a simple assembly detail here, and let's add the same assembly detail to this door coming from the library, assembly frame in mahogany, and on the second door we can do the same, add an assembly detail on mahogany, and now we have the cabinet with the doors, two doors, a front frame, and a dummy drawer at the top, and a flush plinth here which we are going to use because we're going to have a skirting board going along glued to the front of this plinth. So I hope that's been a bit of interest to you and show you how to set up quickly, very quickly, a front frame and insert doors and drawers. Right, I hope to see you again in another video. Goodbye.